What's good, everybody? Clan Brandalorian, we're back once again. As always, my name is Brandon. Everything here on Clan Brandalorian, we talk about lore, theories, Funko, and Lego. We talk about it all, everything within the Star Wars universe. And tonight we are here for part 4 already, which is crazy. Part 4 of After Dark, a nighttime live stream. For me right now, it is 11:31 p.m. Central Standard Time. And yeah, we're here to talk some Star Wars news for this week. A little bit of leaks, rumors. We got some Lego things to discuss about. We also have some news going into Star Wars Celebration for next week. And a lot of rumors and stuff that have leaked, whether we think those are going to be true or not. And then, of course, the main focus for tonight is my top 10 Star Wars characters of all time. And that is as of today. It changes all the time. I will say my number 1 and my number 2 always, they always recirculate. So, I mean, it's nothing too crazy, but I mean, tonight is just pure vibes, as every single episode of After Dark, always for the vibes. So let's go ahead and get this rolling. I'm going to pull up some Bespin Bulletin, of course. We're going to see what's shaking up in the Star Wars community. It is really cool, though, for everyone, all the homies that are in Japan already for Star Wars Celebration. It's just amazing. Like, if I was to go to any country in the world, it would be Japan in a heartbeat. And yeah, not making it this year, of course, but I really do hope that the announcement for the next Star Wars Celebration is something close to me here in the Midwest. That'd be super awesome to go to. And then, of course, all my other friends that are content creators, and then also people that I've met supporting my channel. I think that would be awesome to meet some of them in person and stuff. So, I mean, good stuff there. But so it looks like this first one is perfect right here. Talked to a few. Let's see what's going on with the chat here. What's going on, Star Wars Order? What's up? Hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you once again for an After Dark appearance. William Reyes, goat. You must be talking about yourself, bro. Thank you for joining. And Studtastic Studios, always chiming in for the After Dark series. Love to see you here too, brother. Man, I am super excited. Before we actually, I'm gonna go ahead and share this up to the screen here for Bespin Bulletin. And I mean, we got some cool stuff to talk about. So I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down just a little bit that way. Okay, perfect. So before we start, I will say, let's go ahead and switch this up here. All right, I will say, I got some really, really cool collectibles in, guys, for Star Wars. If you haven't seen the video already on my channel, make sure you go check that out. Carbonites, really, really cool collectible figures here, and these are the two that I have. And we have, of course, the Book of Boba Fett. We got Volume 2 and Volume 3. And, you know, of course, this is from the Book of Boba Fett. And they're little figurines. Go check these out. $14.99 for a 6-pack. I mean, your favorite show, your favorite movie, whatever it is, I'm almost certain that he has them going. So go hit up Vincent. Go hit up Carbonites. I will drop their website down in the description at the end of the video. But yeah, let me go ahead and show these off just real quick. And I'm still so hype about these. I'm actually wanting to get a small little wall shelf, that way I can show these off and put them kind of out and about, because I am kind of running short on some room, some space. So yeah, very interesting. But yeah, so right here, I mean, they're just little blocks. You know, they're basically the characters in carbonite right here. So these are really really cool. Really really excited for these, and a lot of the homies are actually starting to pick some up. So I think this is a really good time for carbonites, and I mean it's a good little job. It's a good little company. I think it's really cool, and it's different. That's the main thing, you know. Especially trying to get your name out there, you want to be different, and I feel like these are just perfect to fit in any collection. Um, and that's what I really stressed in my interview video. Is like, dude, look, um, these right here are 100% cool things right here. So yeah, here's the Cad Bane. Love this one. Boom. Yeah, so these are really cool. Let's check out the chat real quick. Got some more people in here. Misa Bricks, what's up, bro? Long time no see, long time no talk. Good to see you here, bro. Appreciate you a lot. Give a sneak peek of my Carbonites collab pick. Ooh. Okay, bet. Give me one sec. That's as much as a pack of beer. Yes, that is. 14.99. Especially, man, it kind of depends on what you're drinking, you know. It could I mean, if you're drinking like Milwaukee's Best, you might be able to get like 24 of those things for for 14.99. But don't do that to yourself. That's pain. Let me go ahead and bring up the we're going to see a sneak peek here of Misa Bricks, which if you're not following him, make sure you go follow him on Instagram at Misa Bricks. Um, really cool guy, does a lot of Lego photo work, and also helped me with some Funko slash Lego collab little photo that we had of Ahsoka versus Maul. Of course, we started with the Funko version and then matched it with the Lego version, and yeah, looks amazing. And the effects too for the lightsabers just really makes those Funkos come to life. Absolutely love that. So yeah, make sure you go check out Misa Bricks on Instagram. And William Reyes here says, "We'll never follow a Gungan." Yeah, they're kind of clumsy. Maybe it's just Jar Jar. I mean, Tarples is pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, let me pull this up because I am going into a um direct message. So once I pull this up, I'll be able to kind of chop it out, and we will have that right here. Bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. We're gonna get right into everything. All right, here we go. Excuse me. Here we go. Shit was tweaking. Okay, so for Misa Bricks, the collab picture that he was talking about is going to be this right here. Look at this. We have the Han Solo Carbonite right here of the Carbonites company, with Boba holding Han and Carbonite in Lego form. So this is really cool. As you can see right there, I said, bro, that's fucking crazy. Which it is. Like, this looks amazing. Very, very clear picture too. So once this is posted, this is definitely getting shared, and I think Carbonites is going to appreciate this art too. Absolutely love this. It's really cool. But yeah, there it is. But yeah, let's go ahead and pull up Bespin Bulletin, and let's get right into it, guys. Um, I am super nervous about this one topic. I think it's going to be a good thing. Um, But right here, reliable insider confirms that Jesse Plemons and Jodie Comer are on the list to possibly star in Sean Levy's Star Wars movie. So, from the looks of this, from what I've been hearing too, is that Jesse Plemons, of course, if you've seen Breaking Bad, he plays Todd. I absolutely hated Todd. I thought he was a real shitty character in the Breaking Bad. Well, of course, a good character, but he was an asshole. He was a really terrible person. But Jesse Plemons is a great actor. I remember the first time I ever seen him was in Like Mike, and I was, 6, 7 years old watching Like Mike and just hating Jesse Plemons' character because he was just another bully in the little orphan house. And yeah, did not like him. And of course, when I grow up and watch adult movies, not adult, not like that, but like like movies for the older audience. I mean, seeing him in Breaking Bad absolutely was crazy. And just the character he plays. So I mean, if you've seen Breaking Bad, you know exactly how Jesse Plemons plays Todd. So, but yeah, I mean, absolutely fire. I think that's going to be a good thing. He can play a good villain, so maybe he is Ryan Gosling's kind of counterpart, maybe that they work together, or they are going against each other. I think it would be cool too to see Ryan Gosling have more of like a smuggler role. I don't see it being, dark side, light side, Jedi, Sith. I don't see it being anything like that. I feel like that's going to be a real touchy subject in Star Wars, and I feel like Sean Levy is going to explore a different route. So I think this is going to be cool. Jesse Plemons coming to Star Wars, and I am not too familiar with Jodie Comer. So sorry about that. Um, but in other news too, we have the runtimes for every single episode of Andor season 2 revealed. So we already knew that we were going to be getting basically a movie every week of Andor. Why is that not popping up? Oh, here we go. So we're going to be, locked and loaded. Make sure you guys are subscribing down below. If we what we're going to be doing is me and the homie Bailey. If you guys remember some of the earlier episodes and live streams on Clan Brandalorian, I have my homie Bailey on, and we talked a lot of Star Wars, and he is going to be reviewing Andor with me every single Tuesday night after the release of the episodes. So make sure you subscribe for that. That way you don't miss it, because we're going live directly after. So it's going to be nice, fresh. Of course, everyone in the chat will have questions. We'll have questions, and we can all just brainstorm, and hopefully we can have a good stream for you guys. But right here, I mean, out the gate, I'm skimming through these times, and I see nothing of 30 minutes. I think the most annoying thing in Star Wars recently in these TV series is we're getting 30-minute runtimes for episodes. Like, what are we doing? Most of the series we get have, anywhere from 7 to 10 episodes. And here we have 12 episodes, and it looks like we have on average about 50 to 52 minutes of a runtime for an episode. So that is great news. Absolutely amazing. I mean, we're starting off the first episode 51 minutes. I feel like the first one's going to be kind of slow. Maybe the second one's going to kind of continue to ramp up, and every 3 years or every 3 episodes is going to take place 1 year. So episode 1, 2, and 3 is going to be a story within the same year. And then 4, 5, 6 is going to be a year later, going across the bridge there in the story. And then 7, 8, 9, same thing, another year. And then 10, 11, 12. So it's going to be cool to see all of that unfold. But basically every week for the next 4 weeks, once Andor comes out, we're getting an Andor movie every Tuesday night. So however you're going to watch that, it does come out at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, I mean, if you're on the East Coast, it'll be 9. So, I mean, yeah, really cool. I think that's great. And obviously it's taken away the 30-minute runtimes, which just absolutely annoy me. I will say some of the there's a couple Skeleton Crew episodes that I believe were about 38, 39 minutes, but The Mandalorian did that to me every single season, to where I'm staying up till 2 a.m. to see the new Mandalorian episode. And once it loads up and it says 34 minutes, insane, man. Like, absolutely, I can't do that. But let's go back to the chat here. Mid at Misa Bricks. Damn, crazy. That was a cool picture, man. Ouch. Loved him in Friday Night Lights. Jesse Plemons. I don't remember. Oh, I don't remember Friday Night Lights. That's crazy. She was in Free Guy. Is that the newer one with Ryan Gosling as well? How can I get on here? How can I get on here? On where? On the stream or on on the chat? You need to watch it. Yeah, I do need to watch Friday Night Lights. I don't think I've actually seen it, to be fair. I think I'm getting it confused with something else. But I do love football, though. Absolutely love football. Go Broncos. Get GG on this live. GG on this live. Oh, did we just this is okay, so we're basically just unconnecting identities here. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Well, William, nice to meet you, man. So yeah, let's go back and let's go into the main attraction here. Tony Gilroy reveals a Star Wars horror project is in development at Lucasfilm. Wow. So this right out the gate has me feeling some type of way. If you know me, I'm a huge horror guy. Um, Absolutely love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. Anything scary, let's like sign me up. I'm down. But what is this going to entail though? So I want to kind of read this. It says ahead of the release of the second and final season of the critically acclaimed Andor, Tony Gilroy, the series creator and showrunner, has revealed an interesting and unexpected project is in development at Lucasfilm, a horror project. So this is going to be interesting because we're dealing with Disney. Disney, I mean, we still see people um, get their heads, bounced off. We see, cut in half. Especially like the stormtrooper from the Kenobi series. Like no one was expecting that. And I mean, of course, all the things that happen in Clone Wars. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know how far they can go. And also, how did I forget about Vader on the streets of Mapuzo with the kid and the dad that he's force choking? Yeah, I won't say too much. I don't know how stingy YouTube's going to be with that. But to continue, it says when speaking with Business Insider at the red carpet event in London last night for Andor, the writer director shocked fans by revealing that Lucasfilm are actively working on a Star Wars horror project. Though Gilroy did not share whether it's planned to be a film or series, they're already doing that, and I think they're doing that. I think it's in the works. Yeah, Tony Gilroy. Okay, so what is this going to be? Everyone wants, like the Star Weirds, the Blackwing virus, stuff like that. I think that's cool, but I feel like maybe the Night Troopers have been adapted from that. I think that's kind of the tie-in. I feel like Project Blackwing would be something that everyone would really want to see, and I mean, I'm down for zombies. I think that would be amazing. But at the same time, I don't know where it could go. I really don't. And it seems like none of this is there's really not too much on it. So maybe, I mean, like I said, we have Star Wars Celebration that's coming up. So there's going to be a lot of announcements. But I will say that with that being said, I will say going into some of the leaks and theories that I've heard on Instagram, YouTube as well, other content creators, I will say that obviously Tamora Morrison is going to have a big announcement at Star Wars Celebration. I don't know what that could be. If I was to take a very educated guess, I feel like it would be him announcing that he will be in Ahsoka Season 2 playing Rex. I think that would be kind of a cool thing for Clone fans. There's once I kind of got back into Star Wars, I never realized how everyone just loves the clones so much. And, going back and watching Clone Wars, finally, I understand it. Of course, Cody's my clone, my goat clone. I will say, I think that would kind of shake up the community a little bit if Tamora Morrison was to come out and be like, okay, I'm going to be Captain Rex. You're going to see my face. You're going to see everything. I think it would be pretty cool. And plus, it gives Tamora Morrison another shot to be in a Star Wars project. But if I was to have it my way, I would hope that we would get Book of Boba Fett season 2. And I feel like we need to get something on his end that kind of helps lead into the rest of the Mandoverse. Of course, he was the daimyo of Tatooine. He went on with the Tuscans after escaping the Sarlacc pit, changed his life. And of course, being with the Tuscan Raiders, it kind of showed him a way of tranquil, kind of learned to help and to give, the tribe, everything like that. So it definitely changed him. It makes sense. But I would think that maybe a season 2 we could see him and Fennec work a little more closely together. Maybe Cobb Vanth takes over Jabba slash Boba's palace. That's kind of what it looked like it's set up for. But at the same time, I think if we get Boba going into his next step that he's going to do, because obviously he's going to be in the Filoni Endgame film. There's a potential chance that he could be in Ahsoka season 2, maybe once back in the main galaxy. And or he will be in The Mandalorian and Grogu, and that's very hopeful thinking. Tamora Morrison always says he never gets a phone call, so I mean, it's been the last year or so saying that. So I mean, it's going to be a cool thing to see Tamora Morrison up there and having a big announcement. Or it could just be him announcing that he has like an album coming out or something, because I know he's a musician too, and he's pretty passionate about that. But Misa Bricks here says, give me zombie stormies. Virus gets spread from the night troopers coming back from Peridia. That'd be pretty tight. I think that would be pretty cool too, is since they're on Dathomir, Thrawn and the Night Mothers, maybe they kind of everything in the catacombs are like the undead Dathomiri. I think that would be really cool, and kind of bring them all out, and like there's the army basically. It's going to be a lot different than finding stormtroopers or recruiting stormtroopers. I mean, they're all under magic, so it's going to be an easy thing. And also, fun facts, if people didn't know, Dathomir is the closest planet to At-Aten. So that's going to be very interesting now that At-Aten does not have its protective little circle around it. So now At-Aten is very vulnerable to the rest of the galaxy, and the closest planet next to them is Dathomir. Very, very interesting. So yeah, Zombie Stormies, sign me up, dude. I mean, seeing that in Ahsoka and hearing that little violin rip and just seeing the arms twitch and all that, I was so down for that, bro. And do they put blonde hair on him? On who? Who they put blonde hair on? What is this At-Aten you're talking about? Haven't heard of no At-Aten. Yeah, me neither. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that, because I mean, how do you make a Star Wars horror film, especially with Disney? That's kind of my main thing, is what is that going to lead up to? I remember I was scared of Dathomir when I was playing Jedi Fallen Order. Dude, yes, me too. I would hate coming out like around a cave, or like going down at like the side of the cliff, and a Night Brother will just pop out. Like, nah, I'm good, bro. Wasn't too big on that. Oh, do they put the blonde hair on Rex? Of course. I would think so, unless he has like the really like the bald fade, basically, just a little bit on top. I think they could pass with that. Give and Tamora Morrison's bald too, so maybe they could flatten out the top a little bit, give him a little blonde hair. But yeah, Dathomir's scary. I think that's something they could really branch out to, is just the simplicity of the fact that Dathomir is very, witchy, scary. I didn't really care for like the spider critters too in Jedi Fallen Order. I think that was a really cool depiction of Dathomir, because I mean, we don't really see it much, other than in animation. So the game, of course, being animated as well, I think that was probably the best and strongest side of Dathomir that we could see. I think that's most likely for the older X. Yeah, the blonde. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I do think it. And actually now we can go ahead and branch off into Ahsoka. And also too, like I don't know how true these are. Some of the videos that I've seen, it's like, spoiler warning if you don't want to hear anything about Ahsoka season 2, come back later, yada yada yada. I don't know how that's gonna be. And what I mean by that is apparently in Ahsoka season 2, it's all leading to Abeloth. Abeloth is going to be the main villain, the main antagonist. Um, Balin Skull is probably being, talked to and lured in by the sun. I think the dark side of him is, going to pull him in. I have seen a theory that Shin Hati is going to be taken over by Abeloth, which that would be, that's pretty creepy in itself. Um, and basically, he's going to be the host of Abeloth. Um, but I have also heard too that they have someone casted to play Abeloth. And who in their right mind would think that this could be Natalie Portman? I think that would be pretty intense if Natalie Portman, especially aging a little bit, was to play an Abeloth, and of course, makeup job would be done. Um, and I just think that would be insane to get Abeloth and the Sun. And clearly, and what was really cool is if this is true, I actually made a video on it about a month and two ago that Sam Witwer would finally be playing his live action debut and would be playing the Sun. And I think that'd be really cool. But for Ahsoka being live action, a lot of people aren't too into Rebels like myself, but I understand the story of Rebels and also the Mortis arc from the Clone Wars. But not everyone is going to go back and watch the animated just to fill in. So what Dave Filoni is going to do is he's going to basically give a little flashback that's of the Mortis arc. Just a quick rundown, maybe, like 10 minutes or so. Maybe we see Anakin in the World Between Worlds talking. Maybe we see Ahsoka back on the World Between Worlds or Ezra. And here we are going to see that the Sun, played by Sam Witwer, sorry, I'm thinking there's so many different outcomes here, is going to basically show them a flashback and basically reuniting with Anakin as a Force ghost, telling him like, "Look, I remember you," and especially if Ahsoka's there too, it's I remember you. I can feel your presence. The daughter living in Ahsoka, and also Anakin being the father. It's just a perfect setup, and I feel like they can really attack this. And a 10-15 minute little arc in live action, and plus animated to live action is really cool. Absolutely love that for Bo-Katan, Ahsoka. Really cool. That's what we live for with Star Wars, especially in this universe where Disney is giving us more content. So absolutely love that. Who was recast as Balin? I think it's Rory McCann. I think that's his name. He's from Game of Thrones. That's what he's. I think that's what he's most known for is Game of Thrones. Give me a live action version of Rex shooting behind Ahsoka while she is blocking with sabers. Yeah, that'd be fire. Ariana Greenblatt popping in there too. I think that's what's gonna happen. I don't know if we'll get a flashback, to be honest. Season 1 was pretty much just went straight into it, and it didn't really have to didn't have to really do anything to give a recap of where we left off in Rebels. Yeah, but at the same time, though, you got to think um, they have to kind of show like where it all started. I mean, yeah, we saw this like the big cliff, like Mount Rushmore version of the son, the father, and the daughter was crumpled down. Um, I feel like for most people who are like, "Oh, what is that?" Like now what? What is that? So obviously the ones like us who have seen it are like, oh yeah, we know what that's about. But I mean, you got to think of like the casual viewer, because I mean, Disney Plus is in almost every household, and not everyone, which everyone should be, but not everyone's in the Star Wars, and they don't know that extended lore, and especially with the fans not. Because I know plenty of people who love Star Wars, but they're not going to spend time watch the animated, just because they don't like how that looks. But yeah, so I think that's what's going to happen. And supposedly the leaks are Anakin is supposed to be in almost every episode. I saw one source say that at least 7 of the 8 episodes is going to have Anakin in them. So I mean that's very very interesting in itself. Um, and then what was the last thing with Ahsoka? So yeah, we got Abeloth. We have Sam Witwer playing the son. Anakin is supposed to have a few have a very heavy role in season 2. And then also, this is the big one right here. This is probably the best besides Abeloth, because I think the Abeloth thing could really stir up a lot of things in Star Wars, especially at this timeline. So we want to worry about Thrawn, but we have Abeloth, which in my opinion, and should be a very common opinion, Abeloth is 10 times scarier than Thrawn. So that's just going to be a lot going in, but I'll get this. I wonder if we would just get Anakin's voice line and not see him for most of the episodes. Yeah, I mean, I could see that too, but at the same time, I could see them just throwing him in every episode, which me personally, I don't want him in every episode. I feel like it kind of, you know, it kind of pulls away from his character a little bit. I think when we saw him in season 1, that was perfect. That was just enough. We got to see Anakin, in Revenge of the Sith form. And it's a really cool call too to Return of the Jedi when we see Anakin's Force Ghost at the end, and understand that is just, that's how he looks as a Force Ghost from there on out. Really cool how they kept that. But so the coolest thing leak that I heard from the Ahsoka series is that Leia and Mon Mothma will have a conversation about Thrawn, and and apparently Leia is supposed to be kind of in shock. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see Leia. I would assume she'd be deep faked, kind of like Luke in Book of Boba Fett in Mandalorian. I mean, every single quarter of the year, it seems like the deep fake technology is getting better and better. So I mean, getting to see Carrie Fisher on there again would be awesome. And her telling Mon Mothma, like, should we be worried? Because we saw in season 1, and this is kind of where it makes sense to me that this is real, is that Mon Mothma and Hera had a conversation about Thrawn's return, and they were both kind of like, "Oh shit, this is actually happening." Like there's a chance. And clearly, Ahsoka and them had already encountered Thrawn, so they know. And Ezra's now back in the main galaxy, going to see Hera, and he's going to basically be like, "Look, they're already here. If not, they're coming." From what they know, so that's going to be really cool to see. Leia and Mon Mothma. Man, how dope is that going to be? I'd be fine with kind of like Qui-Gon type voiceovers. Yeah, I think the voiceovers are fire, and plus Hayden has such a unique voice too. Like we all know Hayden's voice. That's gonna be really badass. And Sophia yet Sonia, hey, how's it going? Peak background. Thank you so much. This is the lab right here. This is what we do. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining in, Sophia. I appreciate it. See you on Instagram a lot too. Keep up the hard work. William Ray is here again. I thought that was actually Mark Hamill just de-aged with CGI. Yes, it was. Well, yeah. So basically, I can't. Is it Sebastian Stan, or is that a different guy? That is like the body, the temple, basically, and then they just deep fake, um, like a younger, Mark Hamill's face on there, and it's kind of cool too how they kind of like have the face kind of restructure, like it really was, an Empire and Return of the Jedi. Nah, they had him there kind of just as morale for the cast. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. And then also, so that's done with Ahsoka. What else is pretty crazy is there are 2 animated series being worked on. So um I don't know if the okay, so we have 2. I don't know if the horror is going to be the animated series, if that's going to be live action, but supposedly, I mean, take this with a grain of salt. Supposedly, there's going to be a Maul animated series, and this is going to be like a, like a Bad Batch, Clone Wars, like longer series. So that's going to be crazy. And I was talking with a friend of mine about the possibilities and what that could bring, for Darth Maul, and he was kind of saying, it has to be around the times, of Rebels. And for me, what I think, I, I think a Maul series would really knock it out the park is if they show young Maul, and basically work the way up. Let's see his backstory. I'm a sucker for backstory. Give me backstory on anyone. I really do want like an R2D2 backstory. I want to know his origin and see it. I want to see it with my eyes. Um, but at the same time, I think seeing Maul young, seeing him interact with Mother Talzin, other Dathomiri on Dathomir, getting recruited, and coming up, and Palpatine basically, taking him, and yeah, the rest is history. I think that would be really cool. Um, so I mean, a Maul series would be cool, and especially kind of leading through the events of Clone Wars, and then leading through the events of Revenge of the Sith, leading through the events of Jedi Fallen Order. He's still out there. The Kenobi series, and then going into Rebels, before he dies. I think there's a lot of good possibilities there. Same goes to you, man. Love the Lego Star Wars photography. Thank you. That's what I like to call my little side mission. Um, but yeah, it's fun. It's really fun to just prop some Legos up, some Funkos up, and just snap some pictures. And it's all with my iPhone. Nice and easy. Just kind of late trying to catch up. Yeah, no problem. You're here. That's all that matters. We appreciate you joining. And Sebastian Stan would be goated as Luke Skywalker. Yeah. And I can't remember if that's the dude's name or not, but it's something like that. But yeah, they do such a great job. But yeah, like what would you guys think of for like a Maul animated series? I mean, I know some people want, they want more clone content, and I feel like when everyone was like, oh, we need a clone backstory, we need to follow Rex, we need to follow Wolf, Gregor, we need to follow all them. I feel like the clone show was Bad Batch. They're like, okay, you guys want a clone show, here's one, the Bad Batch. So, and I loved Bad Batch. I thought it was great, amazing. I wish there was more Bad Batch Lego sets, to be fair. I think they should have recast it instead of deep fake, to be honest. Yeah, it's just it's such a weird thing because it's like, the recast with, Childish Gambino, as Lando, like that's cool, like it makes sense, you get it. And same with Han Solo and that actor. Hold on, let me look him up. I feel like I'm disservicing him. Yeah, Aiden, oh, Aaron Reich. Yeah, he's a good recast. Um, and plus two, Kira. We could see Kira in this Darth Maul animated series, with Crimson Dawn. Like, how dope would that be? Hell yeah. Or maybe we can see Dryden Voss too. Yeah, like there's lots of possibilities. No, just looked it up. It was a random dude as a body double, but the voice of Mark Hamill. Oh, okay. See, and it was a young voice too. I know they can alter that now, but it's crazy how like spot on they get it. Give me Maul getting recruited by Palpatine and getting trained. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, give me that right away. The Solo movie was top tier in my opinion. Dude, I like Solo. Um, I have, I have Andy from the Galactic Core podcast absolutely hates Solo. The homie Jimmy from Explore the Force, that's his favorite Star Wars movie. That's what's so cool about Star Wars is we all like different things. But yeah, like I think Solo was great. I think it is probably one of the least rewatchable ones for me personally. Once a year I'll, turn it on, watch it, really enjoy it. My dad loves it too. He loves Chewbacca and loves like how they kind of, met. And it proves that the recasting can work. Yeah, like I agree. I think recasting is okay. Especially if you let it work. It's just one of those things where it's just like if you can't kind of get past that, then I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, so we got the Maul animated series, and then of course for me, Quinlan Voss and Asajj Ventress. I think that they should get their own animated series called The Path or The Hidden Path. Um, smuggling them Force sensitive children. And I will say, Nika Futterman, the lady who voices Asajj Ventress, was talking at a Comic-Con about a year or two ago, and said that we're going to get Asajj Ventress in 3 fashions. So we're basically going to get the appetizer, we're going to get the entree, and then we're going to get the dessert. And I don't know if it's going to be in that order or not, but it seems like, we're going to have a small roll, which I feel like an appetizer was the Bad Batch, her coming back. And then I think Tales of the Underworld, I think that is going to be kind of a dessert, compared to if she gets her own role in Tales or The Hidden Path. And of course, right here with Dark Disciple, bang, this story right here was going to be an entire Clone Wars arc, 3 to 4 episodes. And Quinlan Voss, the guy right here, one of my favorites. Him and Asajj Ventress, bang, going after Count Dooku. I mean, what else could you ask for? Quinlan Voss, worst Jedi. Well, you can't even spell his name right, so who's worse? And Quinlan Voss is not the worst Jedi. So many worst Jedi I can name. We need more of the Bad Batch. I know. I want more Bad Batch Lego sets, and I want the Funko wave to be of them from season 3 with the nice orange armor. Season 2, I think that would be so dope. Worst Jedi is that one dude that got electrocuted to death in the Clone Wars. Oh yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. When he's up, kind of like in the ray beam, kind of like torture, like hold. Yeah, like what? Come on, bro, get your ass up. But yeah, ETH Koth lasting 0.2 seconds against Palp. Hey, bro, that Sith Shriek, it absolutely got him and Egan Kolar quick. Or ETH Koth Sacy 10. Yeah, absolutely just not happening. They were too blinded. Now, if they had on Beats by Dre, they would have been fine. That's why my boy Kit Fisto lasted just a little bit longer. I have a theory that he was able to withstand the other two because he's an Aquaman. He's got to have those ears and those Dopplers for underwater. And I feel like he was able to block out the Sith Shriek, and that's why he could last a little bit longer. But it's cool to see that he was able to deflect the blade a little bit before dying. But yeah, poor Kit Fisto, man, sucks. Still makes me shake up a little bit. One of the best Star Wars battles was Savage and Maul against Palpatine. Yeah, that was dope. I think it was just crazy how Palpatine just literally manhandled them, but it was also good for a little bit, how they were like sparring. But then again, I always love that fight too because like that's where Palpatine basically won the Darksaber. So like Din Djarin, Moff Gideon, Bo-Katan, Sabine, like all of them having the Darksaber is just kind of irrelevant. But yeah, did Kit Fisto so dirty, bro, absolutely dirty, like not even fair. But yeah, what do we think? We're 45 minutes in. Let's go ahead and do some let's get this going. We're gonna talk about our top 10 characters in Star Wars, and this is as of today. So don't get on me too bad. I think this is gonna be really good. Hopefully, you guys are chill with this. Shout out Pete Alonso for hitting a home run. Just won me some money. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start this right here. First slide. Most aura in the galaxy. This is the slide right before we get into our honorable mentions, and then we'll go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And before you start non-mainstream Star Wars character, what do you want me to do? My favorite mainstream character. I see now. Sorry, I had to read it differently. Um, my favorite non-mainstream character. Uh, I mean, there's so many, but first to come to mind, probably Pelimoto, dude. She's so cool, and I think her like comedic relief, especially like in the Book of Boba Fett. And I was just watching the Mines of Mandalore episode when Din is trying to get the N1 worked on, and he's trying to also find spare parts for an IG unit. That way he could kind of repair IG-11. I think just that whole interaction with Pelimoto was just hilarious, and how she basically like fleeced the Rhodian of like parts and like gaslit him the entire time. Especially since it was the Boonta Eve Classic, you know, the little holiday there. Like she just totally gaslit the dude. But I think as of right now, today, I mean, characters always change for me. That's one thing I will say before getting into this. I always change characters, but it's all relatively the same. It's really just seeding and spots going, you know, up and down one or two. But yeah, give me Pelimoto right now. But yes, right here, most aura in the entire Star Wars galaxy is Cobb Vanth, the silver fox of the galaxy. So much steez. I mean, come on, man. This man wore Boba's armor. Give me Cobb Vanth all day. All right. We're getting straight into it. Here are the honorable mentions. I got Kylo Ren, Han Solo, Ahsoka, and Cassian Andor. And of course, these are just my opinion. My opinion. And I don't think anything can sway me to think otherwise. And sometimes Ahsoka does bounce up to number 10 and down below. And if you didn't know already, I used to hate Ahsoka. I thought, you know, everyone wants to talk about the twins and the acolyte, saying how that just diminishes Anakin's character. It doesn't. But I thought that of Ahsoka. He completely turned to the dark side. He, you know, he was a master clearly, and not in the Jedi Order. You know, like how do you have an apprentice and you're not a master? How are you on the council but you're not granted the rank of master? You know, the entire message of Revenge of the Sith. That's just how it is. You know, it's just really weird. And I thought she just kind of takes, like, how is that possible? Just kind of a pointless character. And I felt like Dave Filoni just like loved this character way too much. And it didn't really just align with Star Wars. But I did let her marinate as a character, and obviously she's in my honorable mentions. And sometimes she's number 10 sometimes depending on the day, because I mean, she's dope. Like watching the Clone Wars and understanding her character, watching her in Rebels, awesome. I think she is some of the best parts of Rebels, outside of Sabine and Ezra, of course. But yeah, so yeah, Kylo Ren, I think I can safely say that Kylo Ren is the best thing of the sequels. I feel like he had the whiny Skywalker. Um, he had the whiny Skywalker effect. He wanted to chase something of Darth Vader and his grandfather to, you know, become the next big thing, you know, in the dark side. And I feel like he was very powerful, and it was really cool to see that on full display, especially in the Force Awakens. And he kind of mellowed out in the Last Jedi, but then seeing him in Rise of Skywalker was fucking badass. Absolutely love that. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out some of the comments popping in a little bit. It says, "Wow, Han nor Ahsoka not top 10 is crazy." Yeah, bro, that's not for me. A lot of people hate on Kylo. Yeah, I think it's just simply because his character wasn't really invested in too much in the sequels, I will admit. I like the sequels personally. I feel like some of the character shifts kind of bounced back and forth a little bit. You know, you seem like you wanted to really focus on Kylo Ren in the Force Awakens, and then they kind of backtracked a little bit, and then they'd go back on Kylo Ren, and then they'll bring back, and then, you know, so forth. But yeah, and I mean, they did that with Finn, did that with Rey a little bit. So I mean, it's just one of those things. That's what happens when you have multiple heads, multiple writers, and different directors to kind of like pick up where the other left off. But I mean, I feel like Disney's gonna kind of learn from that, and that's really the only flaw of the sequels, in my opinion, is just kind of that right there, Just, but yeah, a lot of people do hate on him. Ahsoka off the list hurts my soul. I'm sorry, bro. That's just how it is, mate. Justice for Han, yeah. Obi-Wan had Anakin as a Padawan before he was a master. Yeah, but it's different. Ahsoka Ahsoka didn't have a master and he or she died, and then here's Anakin Skywalker who's gonna take them on. Now if Obi-Wan was to take on Ahsoka, Obi-Wan dies, who's then gonna train her? Okay, Anakin Skywalker. It makes sense. That's kind of the lineage right there. But yeah, that's different. Justice for Han and Ahsoka. Yeah, I know. Agree. Han's just iconic and nostalgic. Nah, he really is. I feel like if you want to talk about that 70s, early 80s aura, it's Han Solo. Harrison Ford. Disney did Kylo dirty. He could have been so good. Yeah, and I feel like he's still good. I feel like he still had so much to offer as a character. One thing with Star Wars, how do they look? I mean, Kylo Ren looks badass. I thought seeing his helmet for the first time, I was like, oh shit, this is so different. But when he took his helmet off for the first time, I was like, man, who is this? Um, it's very different. But yeah, I absolutely agree. And I thought the Sean Levy movie with Ryan Gosling, before all that came out, I thought Sean Levy was going to be creating a Kylo Ren kind of backstory. And I thought that would be really cool. But I mean, I think Adam Driver would play him again. I don't see why not. I think it would be really cool. And plus, I feel like for the most part, Sophia said, people hate on Kylo. They do. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people, respect Kylo Ren, and they do find him, a favorite in the sequels. Disney did Star Wars really dirty. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, I guess. I mean, it just depends on how you see it. I mean, and it would also suck too, because I feel like, we probably wouldn't really be making too much content too if Disney didn't take over. I don't know if George Lucas would have made any more Star Wars or anything like that. I think Clone Wars really changed the way the Jedi went about things. Yeah. And that's what's really cool about that too, is they really focus on, what implements a Jedi, what's their ways, and you see different sides. Of course, all those episodes you get a little bit more backstory and different scenes of, Jedi in different situations, which is really, really cool. But I think that's what was so cool about the Acolyte, is we go back and, it's obviously 110 years before Phantom Menace, and we see all of these characters, and it's still corrupt. It's still not cool. Like Jedi are very slimy, and we see at the end Vanessa Rowe completely covered up everything about, what happened with Soul and the rest of the Jedi. And then she says, Master Yoda, I have something to tell you. And it's like, she's not going to tell Yoda the truth. And I feel like that's how a lot of the Jedi were going, once upon a time, especially in those moments. But yeah, Han Solo, he's got aura too. Absolutely love the character, but he's just not top 10. There's like 200 Star Wars characters that are just really cool and badass. But if I'm going top 10, yeah, and like I said, Ahsoka, she goes back and forth. She's at 10 and then she'll fall off. As of today, she's at, an honorable mention. And she's mentioned, so she's basically top 10. It's just honorable. And then Cassian Andor, man, fire. The absolute token of Rogue One, the absolute prize, in my opinion. I think, him being the character he is, of course, getting his own spin-off series in Andor is really cool. We get to explore the character more, and we get to see what his purpose is for joining the rebellion, which, I mean, if it wasn't for Andor, some certain things in the rebellion wouldn't shake up to what they ultimately ended up being, and into the demise of the Empire. So, I mean, dope ass character. Taking my guess now, Sice Noodles, number 1. Number 191. Number 191. Okay. Let's get into it, everybody. Enough playing around. Number 10, Bo-Katan Kryze. So this is the person who bounces back and forth with Ahsoka. So if Ahsoka is an honorable mention, she'll bounce right to 10. Some days I'm like, okay, Bo-Katan, she's gonna drop down to 11. Um, so Bo-Katan Kryze, one of my favorites Mandalorian in all of the Mandalorian. I will say, if I was to do like a top 30, I think Tar Vizsla would be up in there because I love the justification of a Mandalorian Jedi. I think that's so badass. And I really think that that's what Grogu is going to be destined to be. So that's going to be really cool. I think Bo-Katan's dope. She looks good. Katie Sackhoff is awesome. Hopefully one day I'll get her on the podcast. That would be really, really awesome. And she's just a really cool Mandalorian. She has good traits. I loved her demeanor in the Mandalorian season 2 when we meet up with them when she first is introduced in live action. Really cool, really stoic, and then she kind of mellows out. And in the Mandalorian season 3, she was a huge focus. We got to dive into some of her past traumas. We got to see, with what she dealt with on Mandalore when she finally went back. So yeah, really, really cool. And I feel like her and Din Djarin are going to end up kind of, being together in a way. So Misa says, wow. Her armor is beautiful, though. Yes, it is beautiful. It's dope. I shout out Jedi Lex. She let me buy the Chase Bo-Katan pop off of her, so that is behind me. Got that bad boy or that bad lady over there. Absolutely love Bo-Katan, man. I need to make a list now. Yes, please make a list. Please make a list. I love seeing everyone's list. Bo-Katan doesn't even touch my top 20. Good, because she's in my top 10. Leave her alone. All right, number 9. Lando Calrissian. All right. So if we're going to talk about aura and steez, nah, I'm joking. Of course, Lando Calrissian holds that. Billy D. Williams just had his birthday recently. Happy birthday, Billy D. My cat is named after this character right here, Lando. I mean, Lando's awesome. In charge of blowing up Death Star number 2. Absolutely love seeing Lando here on my top 10. Simply because, I think he had such a good story in Solo as well. I love seeing, his arrogance, seeing him with the early stage of the Falcon. And it's just really the way he carries himself. I mean, watching Empire Strikes Back when they first get to Cloud City, seeing his first interactions with Han, he's kind of joking, he's smitten, he's he's trying to rizz up Leia a little bit, and the entire situation just goes very bad for him. Especially with Vader and Boba Fett, and setting up his friends. So, that's a really good introduction to this character in seeing him, come around full circle. He ends up kind of feeling bad and wants to team up and go against Vader and the Empire. So then he decides to kind of go into cahoots with dressing up and disguising himself to Jabba's palace to help get Han out. And of course, he got Han there in the first place. So why not try to make things right? And I also really loved him being in The Rise of Skywalker. I think that was a really good touch to bring him back in, and he ended up helping and was, there at the fight on Exegol. So really cool. What's up, brother? Hey, what's up, Patrick? How you doing, bro? Thanks for chiming in on the late stream. I know it's late for you, so appreciate you hopping in, my fellow night owl. Most Riz in Star Wars, yes. Most Riz, 1000%. So yeah, Lando Calrissian, number 9. Let's number 8. Luke Skywalker. So I feel like a lot of people would have Luke, top 5, arguably top 3. And he's got he's got that award-winning smile. Yes, he does. He's got, that's the Riz smile right there. Absolutely, Sophia. That's funny. But yes, number 8, going to Luke Skywalker. Return of the Jedi is my second favorite Star Wars movie, and I think it is really carried by Luke Skywalker. I will say he is definitely the traditional Skywalker. He's definitely Anakin's son, the whininess, the the upbringing, a young boy wanting to, do things, wants to go to Tashi Station to get some power converters. It's cool things like that that mold him into the character he is. I will say in Empire, he really irritates me when he's getting the Dagobah training and he just, doesn't want to listen, but it makes sense. He's a young boy. And he's basically, out and about for the first time ever. Outside of Tatooine. But I mean, when you think of Star Wars, especially the original trilogy, Luke Skywalker is going to pop into mind. And I mean, he's a Skywalker. He's the chosen one son. Really cool. I will say though, with Luke, I like canon Luke better than any other version of Luke. I do not like the EU version of Luke. It just kind of the way they overpower him to a sense. And this isn't too crazy of a nitpick, but it's kind of like he gets kind of like a Star Killer treatment. It just doesn't seem right, and especially with me following canon really really closely, it just doesn't. That's just not like a version of Luke that I can like get down with, just because from what George Lucas created, it just doesn't make sense. So I mean, him turning into the hermit he is on Octu when he's an old man. I mean, cool with me. I think it makes sense. It's all trajectory. He's following in the same step as, Obi-Wan, Yoda, the ones that trained him went on to be hermits. So, I mean, it makes sense for Luke to be the way he was in The Last Jedi. And ultimately, he redeemed himself. And people forget and act like he didn't just pull like the baddest force stunt of all time. Like he literally force projected himself, like it's insane. Very hot take. Wow. Yeah, I got Luke at 8, man. I got Luke at 8. And he's still top 10 out of every character in Star Wars. He's top 10. He's top 8. EU question mark. Yeah, EU. I think the expanded universe version of Luke, the Legends version of Luke, that everyone banks on, that they hate him in The Last Jedi, and they go to, well, that's not my Luke, and it's just like, well, it's the Luke that makes most sense. Expanded universe Luke doesn't really do that justice for me. But yeah, there's number 8. I think this is going really good so far. Popping into number 7. Why not? Why not? We got Princess Leia. Right off the bat, when I think of OG Star Wars, retro Star Wars, throwback Star Wars, nostalgia in Star Wars, Princess Leia pops into mind every single time, and I really do think it's the white dress with the space buns. I mean, way to shake up culture. Did George Lucas cook on this one? Did he design this outfit? Did he design this look for Leia? Because if he didn't, whoever did really cooked with this one. And also, may Carrie Fisher rest in peace. This is, a beloved character in the entire franchise of Star Wars, and I feel like her character um, could even be touched on a little bit more. I think the little bit that we see in Rise of Skywalker of her training with Luke for a limited amount of time was one of the most beautiful things that I've seen in Star Wars. I think it's so cool. Her lightsaber's cool. And just to think that Yoda told Ben that there's another. Like if Luke doesn't work out, there's another that we can try. And like that's crazy. Like they're talking about Leia. And of course Leia is, she is like the main of the rebellion. Really cool to see that with her. And she came a long way. And I loved getting the chance to see her get a younger role in the Kenobi series, and I think Vivian Blair did a really good job portraying a young Leia. I think the writing was good for her character, and I think the direction that Deborah Chow wanted to portray Leia was in a good fashion. And of course, at first I was like, wait, so how's this going to work if she's out running around with Obi-Wan, and she's when she has the message that she wants to send back with R2D2 to Obi-Wan, it just kind of doesn't make sense, at first. But seeing the way that they handled it, it was kind of more like a I need help. and I know you've helped me before, so it's really cool. And the character dynamic between her and Obi-Wan was really cool in the Kenobi series. But I mean, other than Luke, other than Vader, I think the original trilogy is 1000% held by Princess Leia. So, hence why she is number 7 on this list. So, now we're going to get to number 6, and that is Darth Maul. So, one of my earliest Star Wars memories is this face right here. This is a very menacing character. Hence the Phantom Menace. Even though they're talking about Palpatine, this dude right here does not play. And I think it's just insane how Obi-Wan has this dude's number so many times. And it seems like Maul can take care of anyone, no problem, but one person. So I think it's very, very cool how this character has came a long way. That was my first appreciation of Star Wars Clone Wars, was them bringing Maul back, diving into that character more, and essentially giving him another chance. So I think everything that he's gone through, this dude is dark. He is the dark side. It has so much hate, so much pent up just nonsense towards everybody basically. So I think when he teams up with the Mandalorians, amazing. Him taking out Pre Vizsla was awesome. And also seeing him kind of just run things on Mandalore for a while, it was very, very different. And it was a really cool approach. Leia placing higher than Han is crazy. Yeah. I mean, kind of though, not really. I think Han kind of sucked for her, to be fair. I think Leia deserved better in some ways. But I mean, that's just me. I think Leia is a better character than Han Solo, though. Set my list in the group chat. I will check that. I will check that. So, after Darth Maul, we're going to go straight to number 5. And we have Din Djarin. I guess you can kind of package deal Grogu in there. I think Grogu, though, is the future of Star Wars. I know they want to focus on Rey and get these next 3 films out for her, and that's their focus outside of the Mandoverse. That is cool. I think that's a really good approach. One of the first Disney projects was getting this sequel trilogy out. So keep branching off of your product. So I think that's going to be the future of Star Wars. Grogu is young. He's Anakin Skywalker's age, right around this time. He's about 55 years old. And he's going to last hundreds of years. So we have lots and lots more things to come. And I think that's really cool that they did that to where it can set up for future projects and they don't have to kind of struggle to find new ideas. But Din Djarin, amazing. Absolutely love this character, even though he almost gets pieced up in like every fight he ever gets into. Din Djarin, man. I mean, instantly iconic. The armor is amazing. I love the chromed out look, and especially in season 1 when he had kind of like the red brownish armor, just to see him come a long way is really cool. And then plus once he picks up the jetpack, it's like, okay, this dude is going up the ranks. And plus he kind of has a similar origin story that of Jango Fett. So very interesting to see how they were Mandalorian foundlings. Death Watch Mandalorians took in Din Djarin as a child. Really cool fun fact there. So yeah, shout out to the Death Watch Mandalorians. And yeah, I think Din Djarin is going to it's going to be hard to tell. I could see him being one of those characters that goes in the Mandoverse movie. I think he's going to risk it and sacrifice himself. So yeah, I think this is a really beloved character, and he is in fact the Mandalorian. Every single character in Star Wars could use some therapy classes. Yeah, can't we all though? Maybe what character needs it the most, you think? I think Maul when he is in the trash planet. I think that guy really needed some therapy. But yeah, so Din Djarin at number 5. This is where it gets juicy. So, Quinlan Voss at number 4. I remember reading scripts of fan-made Star Wars projects when I was about 10 years old. So this is a couple years after Return or Revenge of the Sith came out. I'm very, very invested in Star Wars at this point, and Quinlan Voss was a name that just kept sticking out. And I remember getting on Wikipedia every single day to check and see if they would update something on this character. I mean, he looks cool. Absolutely love the Kefar aspect in him, that being his species. Um, Absolutely love this. Really cool. Quinlan Voss. I mean, this dude has so much aura. He's always mentioned in Star Wars. On accident, he's in the Phantom Menace in the background while Jar Jar and Sebulba are fighting, having their little scuffle. And pretty much, I think that every time he's mentioned, especially in Revenge of the Sith, when he's mentioned, I think it. I think that they were going to throw him in, and the lineage was that Quinlan Voss was going to be on Kashyyyk when Order 66 hit, and he was supposed to die. That was then scrapped. That is, I think it was adapted into Legends. So he went on, had a kid, um, and yeah, so the rest was great for Quinlan Voss. But him being mentioned in the Kenobi series again in just recent years, and we're getting Asajj Ventress. The last time, if you read Dark Disciple, Asajj Ventress dies, supposedly, and the last person she was with was Quinlan Voss. So I mean, if she's back, what happened with Quinlan Voss? So I think he has so much opportunity to be a killer character. Um, and I mean, cool Jedi. He was very unorthodox and kind of did things his own way. Like growing up in the Jedi Temple, he was always getting in fights with other Jedi Padawans. He was very ornery. They always call him a maverick. He's very wild on his end, and so yeah, I mean, he was always away from the Jedi Temple, but he was still an honorary um, council member. So I mean, and he was a master. So that's really cool. And fun fact too is Ayla Secura is Quinlan Voss's apprentice. So really cool. So yeah, I mean, and his little Clone Wars arc was cool, and he was supposed to have the entire Dark Disciple arc as well in Clone Wars, and we didn't get that. So I mean, we would have a lot more Quinlan Voss, and I feel like if we were to get that with Asajj Ventress, people would definitely be more of a fan of Quinlan Voss, like 1000%. Every single character in Star Wars could use some therapy classes. Already went through that. Dude, everyone, including the side characters. Yeah, yeah, they could all use some. Love how he's just sitting there on Tatooine. Like to think he's on another mission, but didn't get involved with Qui-Gon because of that. Yeah, and it that's not what it was meant to be at first, and they just kind of threw that there, which I think is even better. That you have such a focal point to where you can switch off and be like, oh yeah, this is this character. Yeah, we'll just run with that route. Like that's dope. Like that shows how much range you have. So I mean, yeah, it's cool to know that he was there on a mission. What kind of mission? That's always cool to guess and think about what it could actually be. But I mean, dude, if anyone was like, "Hey, you get one chance for a Star Wars project," I would want a Quinlan Voss live action um, series. I think it would be phenomenal. I think it would do very well. He's one of those characters that you know a lot about but don't. And that's just because of the range the character has had. He hasn't been used in certain aspects, but he's always name dropped. He's always name dropped. We got to get that. Like we have to have more Quinlan Voss, and I just think he should be more prevalent in the Star Wars community. Who would you have play him in live action? You know what? My lifelong dream has been me. I'm playing Quinlan Voss. Just joking. I would love to though. That'd be awesome. I'd have to get more swole though. I have to cut down. But yeah, Disney. If y'all need a Quinlan Voss, let me know. I've always seen the Jason Momoa playing Quinlan Voss. I wouldn't like that. Um, I think that's too. I think it's too much. It could work, but at the same time, I don't know. You know who would like be a really cool Quinlan Voss? Roman Reigns. I think he kind of fits the description a little bit. But even Al Rodrigo, the guy who voice acts for Quinlan Voss, kind of looks like Quinlan Voss in a way, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I have him on Instagram, and he's dude's always having a good time. Looks like, and yeah, so shout out Al Rodrigo. Hopefully, we get some more Quinlan Voss soon, man. Yeah, definitely not Momoa. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, I think those guys are too big. They are. I I don't know. Maybe it would be kind of a maybe like a nobody actor, like not a big one, and that's kind of where they get their foot in the door. I see him as more agile. Yeah, yeah, in to a sense, yes, I agree to a sense. But yeah, Quinlan Voss at number 4. It's easy. That's I mean one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars, and I just can't wait till he gets more. I need more. But yeah, so number 3 we have Anakin Skywalker slash Darth Vader. This is um this is such a great character. I feel like 1 through 3 is very interchangeable. It kind of depends on the day. Usually my 1 and 2 flop in and out. But Anakin Skywalker, of course, is Star Wars. The entire Star Wars timeline, the entire Skywalker saga, of course, Skywalker saga, it is all about Anakin Skywalker. The entire story is about Anakin Skywalker. Um, love Hayden Christensen. He was like my childhood hero. I always wanted to be like him. I would watch Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. And he's just so cool, and like it was so awesome like looking up to him. And 2 summers ago I was able to meet him in person, and it was just one of the craziest experiences. The dude's so genuine. But yeah, and I mean, Anakin Skywalker is Anakin Skywalker. Darth Vader, best villain of all time in all of film, all of cinema, in my opinion. Um, and I just think there's just no one better than Darth Vader to that sense as a character. But I think Anakin too is very, very relatable in a lot of ways. Of course, like it's always going back to the whining, to the complaining. But I mean, you got to think single mother, slaves get taken away from mother. She's still a slave. You're not. You're basically becoming a slave again in the Jedi Order. I mean, it's all of those things mixed in. And they never wanted to give him a shot. And he basically never had a shot. So I mean, always feeling left out like that is, it's pretty troubling for the character of Anakin Skywalker. Keanu Reeves as Quinlan Voss. I mean, I could see it. I think they will save him for Revan though. I bet we do get Revan in live action in a few years. And Sophia here, phenomenal character with some questionable choices. Yeah, most definitely. Very, very questionable. My life goal is to collect every single Vader Funko Pop. Now that's a good. Whoops! Accidentally hit the back button on my mouse. Not good. Not good. So sorry about that, guys. I am back. Stupid mouse, bro. Yep, I'm right here. I'm right here. Let me know in the chat real quick. Is everything back on? Because I didn't mean to do that. Okay, cool. Check out the. Thought you got swatted. Yeah, they're like, get out. No, I better not. Check out the actor Boo Boo Stewart. Boo Boo Stewart. Interesting. Boo Boo. Oh, that's the dude from Twilight, bro. I feel like his face is too. His face might be too like soft or something. He played Warpath in X-Men. Okay. Did he do a cool job? What's Warpath look like? So I know we're talking about Anakin, but like, what do we think of Boo Boo Stewart as Quinlan Voss? I feel like he has the hair. They could dread it up or add some dreads. Be interesting. And then what does Warpath look like? Oh, okay. Okay, he kind of looks cool there. I can see it. Yeah, he'd be a dope Quinlan Voss actually. Damn. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm game. Just seeing how he looks there, I can. Yeah, I'm cool with that. 1000%. Damn. But yeah. So, I mean, Anakin Skywalker. I mean, it's almost no question for him being top three for me. But this is three. So this is where it gets interesting. To finish it out. So number two is Boba Fett. If you were to ask me like 2 days ago, Boba Fett would be number one. Um, but just get some stubble on his face, age him a bit. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Boo Boo Stewart would be a good option. Um, but yeah, Boba Fett. I mean, got a lot of them in the collection. I think Boba Fett is a mysterious character from the original trilogy. Went out pretty fast, in Return of the Jedi. I think the Book of Boba Fett was probably the biggest announcement for me. Seeing that after episode 8, season 2 of The Mandalorian in the post scene credits, seeing that flashback to Boba and Fennec taking out freaking Bib Fortuna. Oh my god. I was like, what is the Book of Boba Fett? What is this? And I remember every single morning waking up, hitting the coffee, chilling on the couch, watching Book of Boba Fett fresh. Boom, man. That was such a great time. But yeah, I mean, Boba Fett. I mean, right here, Sophia says he has aura. Of course he has aura. Beautiful. He's awesome. His armor's dope. I do like the new re-armored look too, where he rocks the Tuscan robe underneath. That's just dope. Right underneath the Beskar there, and I love it too how he doesn't run himself as a Mandalorian. He's just like this is my father's armor. He was a Mandalorian. I am my own person. So like really really cool, and he's paying homage to his father. Really cool. Love Jango Fett as well, but I mean Boba's the guy. Absolutely love how the character transitions a bit, into the older age, and I would love to see more of him. I think that would be really cool to get more Boba Fett. So yeah, Boba Fett at number two. Um, and number one, if you haven't guessed already, guess down in the comments. I'm gonna see if there's 5 people in the chat right now. Let's see if we can at least get 3 of y'all to guess who number two is. Once we get 3 people, to guess who they think number one is, we'll go ahead and reveal it. Cad Bane. Cad Bane. Interesting. Obi-Wan. It's a good guess. Annie. I had Anakin at 3. Anakin / Darth Vader. Same person. But so we got 3 in there. We got 4. Qui-Gon. Okay, so we got Cad Bane, got Obi-Wan, got Anakin, and Qui-Gon. So Drum roll. We don't have drums, so we're going straight into it. Number 1, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Easy, plain as day. Plain as day. When we talk about GOAT Jedi who don't lose, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, he stayed true to the order. His master, Qui-Gon Jinn, was very, Dooku in a way, was kind of off, in his own area, but Qui-Gon went his own route, different from Count Dooku. Him and Dooku were very alike, but very different in so many ways. And I think that's what makes Qui-Gon the really cool character he is. And how would his apprentice not be one of the best? So I mean, we can give Obi-Wan a lot of credit, but of course it stems from his master. And I think Qui-Gon did a great job lore-wise into creating Obi-Wan into the Jedi he is. And of course, Obi-Wan has to, be the guy himself. He's the one that has to do justice as a Jedi at the end of the day. And he does, nothing but that. And Obi-Wan getting his own series was amazing. I remember they dropped it an hour early. I remember Disney was like, oh, never mind. We're going to drop it 1 hour early for the premiere, 2 episodes. I remember speeding home, just closed down the bar, sped home, popped on the Disney Plus, and my wife and I started watching it. And it was just insane to get that little flashback of the prequel era going into, right into the Kenobi series. And of course, the Kenobi series had some ups and downs, but I will say 90% of it I really, really enjoyed. I think it was a good aspect to get the Inquisitors in there live action. I think it was really cool to get Darth Vader back, on top of, Obi-Wan. God, it was just really cool. Bail Organa, and of course the Princess Leia aspect. Young Luke kind of had his little thing towards the end, but I mean, really, really awesome. And yeah, I mean, Obi-Wan, GOAT Jedi. There's no Jedi better. It's simple. It's just so simple for him to be number 1 for me. I went with the dark horse, LOL. Yeah, Cad Bane for sure. Peak, yes, very peak. Obi-Wan is peak. Space Jesus, absolutely. Space Jesus. Space Jesus. Showed my grandma a picture of him. She thought he was Jesus. Yeah, pretty much. Sometimes I look at him too and I'm like, oh, it's Jesus. Yeah. I do not care. Obi-Wan series, best live action Star Wars series. You know what's crazy is I really haven't heard that. I feel like it's a weird thing for people to complain about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, like the Riva thing, like people called it the Riva show. Like that's dumb. I think one of the Inquisitors was going to get a very bright light in this series. I mean, what would the Inquisitors do? Just have them play little background characters? No, like it showed Riva as a character wanting to take down, Darth Vader. And why? Because he killed her. Well, he stabbed her and then killed, her friends in the Jedi Temple. I mean, we got to see that. She was a kid, she was a youngling during Order 66. So it makes sense. Like I mean, I get the drag on it, but at the same time I don't. It's just a very weird thing. But yeah, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is it's really high up there in a rank of live action films. I do think right now Ahsoka has the best start to a live action series because it's going to keep going. But I mean, things could change. But man, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is so fire. I catch myself rewatching it all the time. And then also too, since we're Lego people, the Inquisitor Scythe set, bro, that was copped on release day. Like I remember our Target didn't even have the shelves stocked up, and I went to the Lego aisle and I was like, oh my god, it's not here, but it says it's here online. And I remember a lady pushing a cart going by, a worker. I was like, hey, I need your help. Like, do you guys have this set in the back? She's like, let me go check. She does. She brought it out and I was like, oh my god, thank God. Thank you. So that was really cool to get that set. And yeah, it's straight out of a Kenobi series. Like it's amazing. Really, really, really good series. I agree with you. Vader ripping down a transport was absolutely wild. No, it was wild. And the fact he got freaking bamboozled and didn't, pull down the right one, man, just that was so cool. And obviously that pays a little homage to Star Killer, and I believe Vader's done that before. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And here's my thing: the Kenobi series did one thing for me that I'll never be able to forget, and that made the Kenobi series was a bridge to helping me understand that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader. So I feel like there's not a better depiction of that, to a sense. We see it in Clone Wars and Rebels. But the entire dialogue and the dynamic of Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker transforming into like a David Prowse Darth Vader. Like, it's just the Kenobi series really blended them together, and I absolutely love that. I think that is one of the better parts of that series, and I am very thankful, because sometimes I see Episode 3, Anakin, and I'm like, okay, Anakin is Darth Vader, duh, but like, how does this transition? And it never sat with me too well. Like, I understand who it is and what he becomes, but the Kenobi series did a great job of meshing that, and that's just due to good writing and good portrayal. Did it in Rebels. Yes, yeah. He did it in Rebels as well. They bamboozled him as well. Just straight bamboozled. One of the craziest Vader moments is when Vader lifts the ATDT off of him in Rebels. Yeah, that is man. I need to rewatch Rebels again because I am not the biggest fan of it. It's good though. It's good. It's just not like my favorite one. But yeah. So yeah, guys, that's the top 10 right there. That's the top 10. One of the craziest Vader scenes is in the final battle in the Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order. Yes, when they're down in the tunnel with the water. Yeah, that shit was crazy. I will say though that the him in Jedi Survivor when he fights Seer, when you're then playing as Seer, I think it was so interesting to see her fight with him that long, and of course it's a game. It's for it's for all of the intensities, but it was insane to see how long she lasted with him, and she like kicked his ass, like he was like really damaged. But the way he killed her, like just stood there with the lightsaber and just got her, like insane. Yeah, insane. Um but yeah, what let me see real quick if there's something. Yeah, insane. I really think I need more Vader. We need a Vader. We need a Vader short. Finish off the night with your favorite current Funko. Okay. Current Funko. Let me go grab them. There's three in particular that I would like to show, and I'll grab those. All right. So what we have here, I'm gonna show off this extra one right here because shout out Commander Broski for sending me this. This just came in today. And I have never seen this one in person. So insane to know that this is in hand. I'm actually gonna see if I can shine this, if my flashlight on it, get it to glow a little bit, and then I'll shut the lights off and show. So I'll leave that on there to see the glow. This is a Funko I was chasing for a really long time, and I ended up finding it at Fan Expo Denver, literally like 30 minutes after meeting Hayden Christensen. Is this Tuscan Boba Fett, and it also is the 2021 Fall Convention limited edition there of Funko exclusive. So yeah, little banger right there. Damn, blinded me. This right here, I was first chase in the wild. I ended up finding, and I kept checking. You know me and Cobb Vanth, so it only makes sense. And I always show this one off. This is probably my favorite Funko because of the way I found it. I mean, I was looking for this for a long time and ended up being there. So got the chase in the wild. Always cool to see that. And then shout out to eBay, man. Found this for a steal. The Walgreens exclusive Kit Fisto. The only Kit Fisto. But yeah, banger. Those are just a couple that are my favorites right now. They're all like my babies, I love them all. Do you have all your pops and pop protectors? So this shelf right here, I built this for all my protected ones. So there are a few that I've kind of over filled, and they kind of go off into the kind of the common wall, which is back over here. That's like commons, TVs, TV series, sports, The Office, Harry Potter, a lot of my wife's Funkos. So yeah, like those are probably, most of my Funkos are not in cases. But some of the ones I really like or have a higher value than others, or have stickers, I put them in protectors. But if they're more common, like I have like a Fennec Shand, Emperor Palpatine from Rise of Skywalker, um, Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Kenobi series, Mandalorian Judge. Like I have some up here that are not in protectors, but then they also fit better in the floating shelves that they're in. What would you value your Funko collection at? Like if I was to sell it all, like as a lot, man, I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to tell. Um, mm, I think, I would say up to a K, probably, maybe more. It just kind of depends. It depends on what, some people value or have different Funko like pricings, which is really weird. Funko's kind of a weird thing in that sense, to where it's like that. But I mean, probably right around there or more, probably. Shout out Kit Fisto, another award-winning smile. Yes, absolutely. He has such a beautiful smile. I wish he would have smiled more in Revenge of the Sith. Damn. Gonna need a room tour and collection video soon. Yes, dude. I've actually been thinking about doing that too, because the last room tour we did was when we moved here, and it was almost a year ago. So last summer I did a room tour. So I'm ready to do that again. Those are fun, dude. Room tour videos are so fun. What would be the lowest I would sell it all for? I mean, I'd probably be really arrogant with it just because I don't want to get rid of all of it, but I'd be like, yo, 5K. You can have it all for 5K. And that's very overpriced, but 5K. Most rare Funko in your collection. Ooh. So Lego and Funko I've been collecting since mid 2021. Almost 2022. So all the sets I have for Lego are kind of later down the line. More current sets, stuff like that. And then same with Funko. Well, I got my son his first Funko, and it's a blue box prototype Boba Fett, which that shit's badass. Um, I have the special edition General Grievous, no Walgreens sticker, and I think that one goes for about 35. Um, I think that Gar Saxon I have solo is probably, I think that goes for about 15 to 20. Nothing too crazy to be fair. But probably the Mace Windu, the Kit Fisto, and the Anakin with two lightsabers from Attack of the Clones. Those can all go from anywhere from about $50 to $80. Um, and fun fact: the most expensive I've spent on a Funko Pop was $55, and it was that Anakin. I almost pulled the trigger right before Christmas and bought myself the Commander Cody, the one Commander Cody Funko, and I didn't do it. I regret it. Most disliked Funko in your collection? Oh, I don't know. There's none I don't like. Um, you know what? Most disliked Funko is probably my Jerry Judy Funko Pop. He used to play for the Broncos. We never had a good, competent quarterback to keep him to the caliber of player that he is. So we traded him to the Browns. And now I just have his Denver Broncos Funko Pop up there. And it's just like, damn. Nothing personal against him, but it's just like, well, that's probably the most disliked one. But that's it. That's it. I like them all. Is Django Slave one set next for you? Patrick, I think after seeing the leaks, I'm going to go ahead and get the Django Fett helmet. And then I'm going to get the Kylo Ren helmet. I think those look really, really well. I think I'm just gonna build up these insider points and buy the slave one later. That way, because I mean we're like 1,000 more points away from getting $100 off to redeem. So I mean, I'll probably just do that. I'm in no rush for it. I really do love it though. It looks amazing, like absolutely amazing. Want to buy my out of box Funkos? Send me a picture of them. I'll look at them. I wouldn't mind. I really do. So like if I get like duplicates of Funko, like I'll take one out the box. Like the Django Fett of the Fett Legacy that came out this last year. I have one in box, and then I got another one from Christmas, and that one's out of box, sitting up there by the Star Wars logo. So, but yeah, send me a picture, bro. I started collecting sports Funko in my local team so far. I own two. Hell yeah! Who's your teams? I am. I have a. I have Nathan McKinnon who plays for the Colorado Avalanche. I have Jerry Judy who plays for the Broncos. I have two Nikola Jokic's, the two that are made, and then Jamal Murray, the one, and then I also have Rocky, the Nuggets mascot. So those are the sports Funkos that I have, and I also have an Angels Shohei Otani. Shohei Otani is my favorite baseball player. Braves and Falcons. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can get down with that. Um, yeah, I mean, the Braves have a slow start just like the Rockies. But I mean, until we get a bullpen, we're not going to be good. But the Falcons, man, hey, shout out Michael Penix. I hope he plays great for you guys. He had Bo Nix's number in college, but pros are different. But yeah, those are the pops I have. But so I do have my phone flashed on here, so let me see. Oh yeah, that is pretty well. So shut the lights off, and you can see that glow right there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. And that's the thing too, is like on the Funkos that glow, they don't really last that long. They do, but they don't. Yeah, let's do blue. But yes, I mean those are the funks right there. I'm gonna put these up and think about wrapping it up here. Any last questions? Go ahead and drop those down. I appreciate all of you guys that have showed out. We've had some good people in here, and it seems like the numbers stayed the same the entire time, and it's almost been 2 hours. So I mean, I really appreciate that, guys. Popping out, hanging out with me. Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate it. It's really cool. Imagine if the box glowed too. Maybe the words that would be tight. I think Funko is starting to pay a lot more attention to uh Funko. I can't wait for the Japanese samurai Funkos that coming out of the Darth Vader, the Rey, Mando, and Kylo Ren. Those look amazing. I use a blacklight flashlight on the Oh, yeah, on the glow in the dark. Yeah, I used to have a blacklight and it worked really well. We have an LED flashlight too that's really fucking bright. And those do a really good job. But yeah, I mean the glow in the dark Funkos are cool. I'm gonna put these up. I will say, also, this Kylo Ren is actually one of my top 5 Funkos. I don't know why I didn't grab this because I actually forgot that I have it. This right here just came out. It is a 2024 fall convention limited edition, and also has a QR code here that you can like scan and it'll add to your collection on Funko.com. But yeah, this one is absolutely heat. Like I love this one so much, and I think that QR code sticker there looks really cool too. But yeah, this one's dope, and it's a hooded Kylo Ren. Yeah, sign me up. Oh man, I keep seeing posts on the Samurai Funkos on Insta. Yes, I know. And every time I see them, I'm like, where are they? I need to pre-order them or get them. Absolute art, yes. And they're one of those things too where the box art is beautiful as well. They have the cherry blossom trees on the side of the box, and I mean, you got to keep it in box, I guess. You can't. What are your plans for season 2 of A Conversation? Okay, so what's crazy is Clan Brandalorian A Conversation is really cool. I've been on some podcasts where it seems very um scripted in a way. Which I think is really cool, especially if you're pushing out a certain kind of podcast. That's really really cool. But for me, my favorite thing is literally having a conversation, like just talking about Star Wars. Of course, I'll have 3 main points. We can, address those. But I mean, overall, if I start talking about like Kylo Ren or something, like what does that make you think of? Where does this conversation go? Just you and I, as 2 humans, 3 humans, 4 humans, whoever's on the show, just talking about Star Wars. Just chill vibes, good, good conversation is what it's really all about. But my plans for it is to of course different genres within Star Wars, talk about all different things. I had 2 of the 5 Cantina Chaos Lego group on Instagram, good friends. Had 2 of them on in the first season. I plan on getting 3 of the rest of them on the second season. So um I will say there is a big name that I am in contact with that will be on season 2, getting that all worked out and finalized. And then there's also I will say there is a big Lego content creator that will be on as well. And we actually record our episode next week. So Season 2 may be here just a little earlier than we think, actually. So I think it's a really cool side thing to the channel because um, when I first started the YouTube channel, I wanted to, show that I really love, Star Wars, all of them, not just, 1 through 6. I hate the rest. Like I love 1 through 6. I love it all, but it's, it's just, I liked my way of Star Wars is really cool. I love the Funko aspect. I love the Lego aspect, and the collecting. I mean, we spend so much money on these collectibles. Why not? Let's talk about them and show them off. Peep DM when you're done. Got you. Did you buy that at a store? Yes, I did. It was at Target. Actually, I was gonna buy it for myself right around my birthday, but my wife was like, "No, you can't buy yourself things for right around your birthday." So I was like, "Ooh." But I have it. It's awesome. Just sent you an image of my custom samurai stormtrooper. Oh shit! All right, cool. I will look at that too. I agree. Cherry blossoms on the box look great. Yes, yes, they look so good. Can't wait to get those. Speaking of cherry blossom, check this out. And it's Japan time for celebration. This fits the vibe. Yeah. So we got the Japan postcard from Lego right here. Absolute fire. Sorry, the lighting's goofy. And then, of course, the cherry blossom bonsai. Yeah. And then I'm gonna show you guys the best non Star Wars Lego set that I think exists. Yeah, that exists. I got you. All right, so the best non Star Wars Lego set is the Tranquil Garden, and I stand on this forever. This is so amazing, man. When you built this, it says right in the manual, it's like, you know, get you a nice glass of tea and sit back, unwind, and build this. And like the entire point of this is just you can, hear the water flowing. I mean, not literally, but like when you look at it, you have that feeling of hearing water flowing, uh trees, blowing in the wind, and just chillness, like really cool. But yeah, and then what's so funny is like one of my brothers, when they were younger, they brought home some like Legos from school, and it was a Ninjago set. And if you see right there, you can see a little dude right there that I just tossed in there, and he fits in there perfectly. So yeah, dude, this is pretty cool. And then like also the trees and stuff, you can like pull them out like that, and you can rearrange them all over. Really cool. And there's also printed tile, koi fish pieces in the water. Really, really dope. So yeah, like this set right here, the Tranquil Garden, I think it retailed at 110. But I got this for my birthday 2 years ago. And man, when I tell you, building this was amazing. Really, really cool set. What I tell my wife, it's my birthday, I'll buy whatever I want. You're bold, bro. Cool Japan postcard. Yeah, dude, I love that. Got that for Christmas too. In my stocking stuffer. Really good one. I've got the cherry blossom flower set. Oh, nice. Yes. I have that upstairs. We have a vase with the flower bouquet, like the OG flower bouquet. And I threw um the cherry blossoms in there too. Looks really cool. I got a drop kick from Transformers holding them. Oh, nice. That's cool. Fire. Yes, I love it, man. That set, like I said, best non Star Wars Lego set in my opinion. Whoa, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm thinking about taking some pictures of that, especially with Star Wars Celebration, and putting some Star Wars minifigs in there. What do you think? That'd be kind of cool. Could prop in some, maybe like a Vader and maybe a Yoda or something, just to some OGs. That's fire. Yeah, it is fire. I love it. It's really cool, man. Lego, it's Lego is so cool, man. There's so many different, genres, so many different sets, and it's all the same thing. You build, and it's so cool to see, how it starts to how it finishes. Especially like the sail barge over here. Like I look at that thing, you know, ever so often, every day. I'm just like, bro, this set is just magical. Kenobi versus Inquisitors. Yeah, I could make it untranquil. Yoda meditating in a Japanese style garden would be iconic. Okay, I guess I'll do that. I got the box set up right here. I might have to do that. I need to write that down so I don't forget. Heck yeah. Boom. Well, everybody, I'm going to call it a night. This was a great 2-hour stream. I never expect to go this long, but I mean, always having so much fun. I will say at like the 45-minute mark, once we're getting like halfway through, I was like, oh, it's getting late. But I mean, just talking with you guys, man, this is so fun. Absolutely love this. Probably next week we'll get back into it. Um, got some things coming out. Andor season review with Bailey will be live after every single episode of Andor every Tuesday night. So what we're gonna do is watch the episodes. When he's done, when I'm done, we'll just link up, hop on, go live right away, and we're going straight into it. So um, yeah, so we're gonna be expecting that. Um, Clan Brandalorian: A Conversation season 2 is going to be underway. So make sure to keep your ears open for that. Like I said, we will have one big Lego creator come on, and I'll be talking to him. And then we also we'll have another big Star Wars name come on. This will be really cool to have this person on. It's currently in the works of getting that all situated and set up. Just looking for a date now, so can't wait for that. And then also just the channel. We hit 550 subscribers today. I mean, what a milestone! Like, just it's crazy how you get to that point. Very fun, and it's just, I mean, it's nothing. It's just having fun and talking Star Wars, making Star Wars content. And it's all in fun. If you enjoy it, I mean, it's amazing. Dude, it's fun. Yes, it's very fun. I love building Lego. After hours, let's go. Damn. So, okay, so what's up, Ricky? Let's go. You are currently in Japan right now, my man. I hope everything is going good. Stay safe. I know you are in unfamiliar territory. I could not imagine being in Japan right now. That would just, I mean, as much as I would love to, that's just crazy. But yeah, man, I hope you guys have so much fun, man. I think it's cool you guys went a week early too. That way you could go see and do things, get the experience. You guys are, visiting other parts of the world, man. That's awesome. Thank you, man. Yes, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for chilling in the stream for almost 2 hours. That's crazy. What's we talk about? Man, we talked about top 10 characters in Star Wars. We talked about some Star Wars news for this week. So yeah, that's what we were doing. Let's go 550. Yes. Yes. Thank you, man. It's definitely a vibe out here. Oh, I bet. I bet. I would What I would love to do in Tokyo is get like a nice hoop session outside. Love to play some like 5v5 outside. That would be amazing. Get some runs in. 7-Eleven. I feel like you have to go there. I know you guys stop by. And I want to have some noodles. I want to get some real authentic Japanese food. Um, and most importantly, I would love to go chill in a cherry blossom field, or um, go to a little tranquil garden, just like the Lego set. That is something that is so cool. And I thought that was really cool when they built the set, or when they came out with that set. I was like, oh man, they actually did that. Aren't Japanese peeps short? You'd be balling. I mean, I'm 6'2". I mean, um, I mean, the best basketball player I've seen eye to eye, he was 5'9". So I mean, yeah, um, on my team, he was quite the baller. But yeah, with that being said, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce off of here. I appreciate you guys chilling in here for 2 hours. Really, really good stream. Can't wait to see what's next for the next week of After Dark. Got to go during spring for the cherry blossom season. Then, yeah, yes, that is true. But yeah, I don't know when I'll get out there. Maybe one day. Get some rest, my guy. Hey, you get some rest too, bro. You got quite the week ahead of you, and I will be following you closely. I'm liking that you guys are already posting. So yeah, peace, bro. But yeah, to everybody, thank you again so much for chilling with me tonight. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good night. Clan Brandalorian. I'm out.